Meet Ray Butt. But which Butt? Butt of the joke? Butt the buttist? Butt the drunk they cut from the wreck in a coma with the inside of his wife's face all down his dinner suit? He was a pioneer of the shawl collar look too. Butt the loyal widower of loyal Heidi? Butt the father to the triplets John, Sonny and Laddie? The three little surprises, the boys? Butt the son to May and Harry? My dad drunk so much gin he did, they dressed him up in his coffin like a beefeater. Butt the brother of Daff, a living legend in G&G. Butt the employer and patron of poor Eddie Valander. Reg voices Ray Butt. Ray Butt, medical curiosity and prosthetic bodge. Butt, the putative stepson of a man young enough to be his son. You boys are going to have to look into this when I'm thorough. The dreamer, the penitent visionary, God's toolkit, Haling's most favourite child. Meet Ray Butt, who's all these and more beside. Man of contrast, man of parts, some of them titanium steel, some plastic, some Gore-Tex, some Dacron, some porcine, some he came with. That purring whir, those thuds against the wainscot, that crack, the curse that follows and the muffled oaths of self-contempt, these are the sounds of Ray Butt coming to greet us. Respect, show it. This is a star. It. Once a star, opines Reg's voice, the man the stars confide in. Once a star, always a star. A star, a true star, never loses that indefinable something, that special je ne sais quoi. Not even when that true star is only just over half a star, when so much has been cut away, replaced, replicated. No, because stardom comes from the very soul. The soul, then, is not to be found in the kidneys, the legs, the colon, the hair, the teeth. It comes from the very heart. Parts of Ray Butt's heart are, admittedly, his own. Indeed, since no one else claims them, he owns even the parts he didn't grow, the spare parts. They're his own too. Who'd want them? Tell you what, you tell me the name of the geezer who'd buy a used pacemaker with 15,000 on the clock. No, tell you what, I'll tell you his name. Cunt. Hey, beg pardon. Pardon my Swahili. That's Mr. C. U-N-T. My mistake. That purring whir. Another onomatopoeia, a splintering falsetto. That's the blue bohemian off the occasional table. You'd have thought he'd have learnt to steer better by now. Butt of the aim. Then you remember it was bad driving that got him started at this. Bad driving and all those bevies and the row with Heidi she began when they crossed the Hamble Bridge at Bursledon. A row about an imaginary popsy, about some transgression he'd never have made, not in a million years, not on his mother's eyes, swear, family and that. But you've got to be friendly to hired helps, even if they are in fishnets with legs up to their oxters. A silly thing to spat about, but then she'd had a few too. Foden, a sort of furnace. Its headlights, which were eyes, became a consuming mouth. The lorry ate Heidi. And do you know, the driver, who was a fan, never drove again. Not after what he'd done to that little ray of human mirth. Of course he was a fan. Who wasn't? And of course he blamed himself. Who wouldn't have? The man who drove the lorry that crippled Ray Butt. It was an accident. God bless, it wasn't his fault, but nonetheless, Ray Butt. It's not like gimping a nobody. By chance, Ray's earliest ambition, he confesses, was not to be a nobody, writes Reg Voice. Fiercely determined to be a somebody, he's achieved it in spades, but not, he admits with his usual modesty, without a lot of luck along the way and some sorts giving me a hand up on the way. So here it comes, through the door. Solid grey rubber tyres, iridescent metal tubing, upholstered armrests, bespoke those, rods and levers, spherical black knobs. And there's a piece of a man in it, the leftovers of a life. A little bit of body and a lot of car rug. Dress Stewart. This, though, is no car. You can't call it a car, no. Cripple trolley, bardo bus, Delano-mobile, spaz wheels, gimp pram, yes. This is a vehicular prosthesis with its own protheses. A battery like a cubist bum beneath the seat, tensile rails, screws, wing nuts, folding tackle. These are the supports of the chair which is his support. Life's like that. We need props to sustain it. Ray Butt's life is more like that than most. The more life he tucks under his belt, the less of him there is, the greater the store of props he needs. Consider how much the truncated original bit of Butt must carry in order to be. He's a refurbished ruin. From the north, tube, bifocals on a cord, hearing aid on the blink, clackers, pacemaker, some Clark's kidney, colostomy, hip custom built from petroleum byproducts. Every time he's ate, every time a car crashes and a life goes out inside it, there is a surgical opportunity, the possibility of further bricolage, a gland, a spleen, a lung. Butt is an orphanage for organs, for yards of blood and freshest flesh. Is this the Butt we want? Not yet.
The trees that line the avenue of life we all walk down cast ever-changing shadows on us. We are inconstant creatures.
The Butt we want is the one way back there, glowing in dapple, lit through spring's leaf, etc. Literally lit through smoke and breath at the Cardiff Palace, the Burslem Rex, the Hippodrome in New Cross. This is not the Butt that talks about the avenue of life. This is the Butt that leers, cocky and brill-creamed, that struts the stage, that lifts his middle finger and runs it under his nostrils, which dilate as he says, "Sniff, sniff, sniff." What's that? Smells like fish to me. His wink is lewd. He repeatedly crooks the finger, a slim sexual limb exposed to the guffawing gorblimes, to the chars and mops, the rookies with berets on their shoulders, the broken-teethed D-mobs. They howl when he says, "Anchovy!" They know he's going to say it and they still howl. Butt never died, not even at the Glasgow Empire. Timing, that was it. It must have been. It wasn't the material. Certainly not the material that Reg Voice records. For example,
My mother-in-law's a gem, she is, a treasure, honest, the crown jewel she is.
so why hasn't anyone tried to steal her then? You tell me, why hasn't anyone tried to nick her? Brings the house down, apparently. The lone heckler, the birdman, Butt fixes him with mock glare. "Hello, got the runs out of our face, have we? Looking for Butt on your lip, eh?" The man felt the gape of the fish whiffery fixing him. Butt had an unerring eye, a sure ear. He told Reg Voice, "There might be 1,000 of them out there, but they're never a crowd. I see their faces, I can hear them whisper, I take them all in. They're individuals, hundreds of individuals, and I speak to them as individuals." Down there, end of stage left aisle, 12 rows back, seats J12 and J11. A girl with a peekaboo flicks away a squaddie's hand from her thigh. But these long engagements play havoc with genitourinary tract. Two women get up, their seats slap, they push along the row. But, here, look, if you want something that's really dirty, tell you what, you're going the right way, Mum. There's a bus outside, you can go and sniff it at its exhaust pipe. Sniff, sniff, what's that? Smells like filth to me. And Butt bows. His right wrist describes decreasing circles. His right foot slides forward. Once upon a time, in the twilight of the empires, he was an elegant man, quite a dish, lithe, he cut a figure. Look at him now. Now, at last, he has what it takes to be a great comic. He's a geek, a teratologist treat, a gargoyle on wheels, a grotesque, a piece of pathos, misshapen as a fool. Now he has the physical attributes he lacked then. He has a lack of physical attributes. A handsome comic is not a true comic. The people, his people, might have adored him. But adoration, it's innate. Adoration, he thrived on it as sure as children did on sunpad. His prettiness bred vanity, which is a mask, which includes nakedness, which is the sine qua non of the comic. Got it? This has nothing to do with the clown's desire to play the prince, a piety which Reg Voice subscribed to. Ray has a feeling that the old Tyrone Power roles will come his way one of these fine days. They didn't. They hadn't. This has all to do with his unwillingness to bend his looks, twist his face, foster hyperbolic jowls, turn his lips inside out. He was no more than a vehicle, a well-tuned vehicle certainly, for gags and patter that enlivened a filthy England of smog and pea soupers, of subfusk and reticence, of backs-to-the-wall bonhomie, of everything under the carpet, quick, of an England whose national dread of colour was only temporarily alleviated by late career routines such as got on a bus yesterday, I did. butt on a bus, put my butt on the seat. I did, upstairs, and I sit there looking out the window. Very pretty, very pretty. Magnolias and what have you, Forsyth here, don't laugh. Nice bit of homework down there. I bent my neck. I thought I'd like to be coming up the stairs behind you, dear. Upstairs, downstairs, bit of a stair, just a peep, love. Very lovely it is out there. Dogs in spring, a young man's fancy now spring is here. That would be Geisha Hayden in the 3 o'clock at Haydock. Very lovely. What's that smell? Sniff, 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 sniff. What's that? Smells. Smells nasty to me, it does. J. Arthur nasty, and I hear the clippy clopping up the stairs. Have them red change, please. Well, I'm going through me change, and I takes the deck out the seat across, the one opposite, and there's this effing great dog turd on it, steaming, all shiny and coiled like. Sniff, sniff. You know where the smell's coming from. So I says to this nigger Clippy, big bastard he is, umja. Ray Butt's hands reach for the armpits. I say to him, there's a doggy do on the seat there, Rastus. What are you going to do about it? And he says, know what he says? He says, I know days, man. I'm going to take it home for my supper. Eh? Take it home for his supper. Wouldn't want to kiss him even if I was that way, duckies. The night he drove his Allard into the front of the Foden and killed his wife, he had brought the house down with that one. Oh, the encores. And after the encores, another bottle of Johnny Walker, and then a few trebles for the road, just to steady him. The night he drove his Allard into the front of the Foden and killed his wife, he was 8 times over the limit that would subsequently be prescribed by the Road Safety Act of 1967. One of the firemen reckoned it was his intoxication that saved him. How is not recorded. The degree and consequent duration of his intoxication obviated the administration of anaesthetic. The surgeons at St. Mary's Pompey had to wait to chop, and because they had to wait, they had to chop more. 5 hours is too long for legs that have been through a mincer. Gangrene's like a Boy Scout, always prepared. That wait made Ray Butt a double amputee. He'd have kept the left had he not been so pissed. He lost his legs, his car, his licence, his wife. It was the last that mattered. It was her not being there that hurt. And the space vacated by his legs and scotches, though that was a synonym he was necessarily shy of. Early on, before he faced his eternal culpability, before penitence raged in him, before contrition squatted his face and thrashed it and left it looking like a worn scrotum, before his first go at suicide, the only help he should have tried for was the right recipe for cream topping. He flunked on the barbs, got the gin right though. Early on, before despair struck and promoted a second, a complementary paralysis, a mental one, all the inconveniences merely irked him. Even though bits of it had maculated him like red paint and white braiding, he had not actually seen Heidi's body, and she might as well have been away on a long, selfishly long holiday. She might come in with the Spanish tan and rope-soled shoes to wake him, take him for a spin. Forever raw. Sorry, I've now lost my place.
Hello, mate. Telling me I need to get into the internet or whatever you call it.
Z-Man.
Valanda Light.
Valanda Light.
This is a random selection of odd.
Pompey.
Ils ont piqué mes speckies.
And they've nicked my biscuits.
Right, I'm just going to put to Luke.
Should be honest.
That's breath on her molar.
Lee Park. Got it, you bastard. The biggest dossers, fucking wankers all live there, all the dregs. Real shit on it.
The land that God forgot and had probably overlooked in the first place.
No. She's running. The voice on. He was a wheelwright, I think that was right, and he worked in the Portsmouth shipyards. And it was called Nelson Docks or something, I think. He was like in the chandlery department. But he was quite a clever lad, and then he started interfering with the young girl that was part of the family, about 4-year-old or something, as I remember, 4 to 6. Anyway, they lifted him, had him away, and he got in nick, and the next thing, they'd held him down and poured fucking boiling hot water all over him.
Spot.
He had about, no bullshit, about 70% fucking burns.
Roasted inside the red hot bull.
They didn't just tip it there, fucking straight up, from there, and wherever it landed, And he should have known better. He was old enough. You know, as I say, Margie was upset by it, but again, I don't want to say this nastily, but in an animalistic sort of way, Margie knew that anything went, because anything did go down there, really and truthfully.
That's brick on her molar, hold the tail on him. That's brick on her molar. Here she is, slank, shantung and rictal revlon.
She'd come into bed with a big smile on her face, and she'd have like 20 quid, which is a lot of money then, going back a few years. And also a bottle of 12-year-old, I don't know, Glenfiddich or something like that. And look, she'd be looking at the bottle and smiling, and there's a 20 in the other hand. She'd let it off. Well, off these countries,
Dad's brick.
They've been at sea for 3 or 4 months, whatever, and come back in big time Charlies. I ain't fucking up, really. Business as usual, you know. That's what it was all about. See a pound fucking sign go up, pick us down and in business, you know, that was it. No, business, the pound. You put your knob out and I'll put 10 up in your hands, you got me.
That's brick on her molar, hold the tail on him. That's brick on her molar.
Helen, you remember her, the blonde-haired girl? I got into bed with that when I first knew her, all full of expectations. I was going to have the real experience of a qualified woman giving me the business, and it was the rub out that I wanted, not so much the history, but nevertheless, she laid there like fucking half a pound of cod. And I was banging away and unloading, you know what I mean? Big time me, and it wasn't. You know, I had to in the end say, what the fucking news was that? I thought she was dead or something, or asleep. But she always come on to me after that, and I was, in my estimation, a good-looking boy when I was a young lad. But if that was a turn-on for her, you know, I knew it, and like many other birds as well, if it was only that they fell in love with, fucking black hair, blue eyes, and
Swafiga.
and more company was all I can say, because once I'd had what I wanted, 2 or 3 times, I was off. All I've ever been, now he's a pussy bird.
Dad's brick on her molar, told a tale on him. Dad's brick on her molar. They copulated, rubbed off. You were gone for quite a while, half an hour more. And then when you came back, this is what I saw. Dad's brick on her molar, told a tale on him. Dad's brick on her molar. Seemed totally fucking incomprehensible. Very weirdly proportioned. His big toe is like a penis. Poor Eddie's penis. This is not like a big toe. Eddie's Uncle Douglas has taken 3.5 decades and 5 courses of treatment through the post to grow a penis this size. Eddie's lolls on his furry thigh, with its gormless puckered mouth on his knee just about. Old Ma Cropper tugged at it with the familiar gesture of her trade and said to the 2 nurses, My, that's a fine and dandy one he's got there, and no mistake. Knowing what I do about the way girls are, I'd back that beauty to keep the pot boiling for Old Ma for years to come. Eh? Old Ma, who was usually right, is, in this instance, wrong. She'd have been backing a loser, wouldn't she, Eddie? And you were never to be a father, not even to cat food. Asthma is a prowler. It stealths in, then it groans. That's the first you know. You hear it before you feel it. It announces itself, then gets to work, vicing bronchioles. This prowler practices ventriloquy. It squats in your chest, makes bad music with the pipes in there. It uses your body to a frivolous end, abuses it, no respect. It doesn't give a toss about your body's purpose in life. Your well of breath is its playground. The smokkele, the borscht. Albo Mayor Decker was never quite the same after he ate the pygmy. The spasms grew braver. The man was crippled by an incapacity to give offence, by the terminal Englishness whose highest virtues are found in unrocked boats in what's beneath the carpet. Bolt passports, meat, metal polish. Oh, you greedy gobbler, you darling cannibal, with cunts as big as the gaping neck of a beheaded horse.
Must be nice being old. You don't have to go to clubs. Must be nice being old. You don't have to go to clubs.
The National Farmers Union has no statistics relating to the proportion of its members who enter into sexual congress with their animals. The way to make life better for nurses is to have them nurse people who aren't ill, who aren't incontinent, who aren't drooling, who aren't jabbering. Her Majesty the Queen was on a school visit. She said to one of the people whose hand she was shaking, "And are you a parent?" The man, in fact, was a teacher who replied, "The last time I was a parent was in a shop doorway in 1941. Him. Do you spit or do you swallow? Her. I only swallow if I like the chap. The hospital made no complaint. It smelt of blood, which smells like metal. Its lugubrious corridors were heaped with swabs, swagged with lint, lined with bins within which rotted the bad bits of people, the bits with the wens and the perforations, the bits that make seeping meat cakes, suppurating faggots of poison. The bins leaked. The floor was slimy tiled. It was sticky with lung gravy, duodenum juice, awash with the lactic swill of 1,000,000 mastectomies, the thwarted seeds of castrations, people whose bad bits were in those bins and who were looking for them, scraping about in their filthy nightshirts. Guy Valander saw all this, and he saw people madder than himself, people who pressed so hard against the walls they wanted to move through them, people who scratched right-wing muscles. Look at the trunks that strive for the sky. Look at their coupling and trebling and orgiastic pleaching. Look at the mutual pimping of cat and leaf, reptile and root, ant and fruit, bird and bough. A fresh font of disease and ill. So is this world ever remade.
What are we doing for time?
Is there something called Sit on my Facebook?
What are we doing for time?
The Little Gay Tractor Guide. Dumper truck sulky. The Big Butch Combine Harvester. The Nasty Harrow. Petulance a Crawler. Closet to Veal Crate. Nelly the Rotavator. Wig is in Shropshire. Works is in Staffordshire. This guy who'd been there for 2 weeks and had been outside the hotel, who started asking me, "Do you know what that is?" That's a shard. And he was creating apps for Barclays Bank. I said, "Where do you come from?" He said, "Dallas." And I said, "Well, you should be kind of working on a Kennedy 50th anniversary assassination app." He didn't sort of get. It's got David Icke thinks it's lizards.
So if you go to my computer again,
Yeah.
and now it's smaller, now if you find the file,
What are we doing?
and drag it. There we go.
Ah, right, okay, good. Brilliant. Mick Jagger's face is a map of W.H. Auden's balls. Chimney sweep's trade disease is cancer of the scrotum. I don't give a toss what happens. I don't own one. I have fine. In the window. I don't know any, I can't remember any more of the words, but you know, when I was 7, I thought it was about locusts. And I thought these locusts were going to come in and get me. It must have been sort of probably sung on sort of some radio show. I had an extraordinary thing in a restaurant in Marseille the other day. One of the customers said to the waiter, "Could you pull the awning further across? We're getting, too much sun hitting us." So the waiter, it didn't have one of those automatic things. He did it by hand, and he pulled it over to where there was the top kind of frame which it attached to, and he pulled it over. And a cricket had bitten him. And cricket, they're really unpleasant-looking things. They've got they're like very, very big flies. I mean, huge. I mean, about that long.
What are we doing for time?
Yeah, horrible thing. And he was bleeding.
Half the time of the 90s.
No, I don't.
Done, come, spent.